Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. The Pakistani leadership, its ministers, its leaders in the opposition all are rattled, as has been the example that has been set by Bilawal Bhutto-Zardari, who is the former Foreign Minister of Pakistan, and he sits in the Pakistan National Assembly as a member of parliament. Now here we discuss about the Indus Water Treaty that has been put on freeze by India, that has left Pakistan in panic. How is it going to sustain the agricultural economy of the country on which Pakistan relies on? It is going to leave hundreds and thousands and lakhs of people living in Pakistan without food, and the hunger index will further plummet. Let's discuss this about this brazen attack that has been made by Bilawal Bhutto, talking about how the Pakistan government, the Pakistan army will ensure that if the water does not flow into Pakistan under the Indus Water Treaty, there will be bloodshed. I have with me on my panel Ambassador Veena Sikri. Ambassador Sikri, it's interesting to note that in the last 5 days, ever since the Pahalgam attack took place, there has been a successive change of stance by the Pakistani ministers, the government. They first came out and denied any involvement. They then came out and said this was a figment of imagination of India, that an attack took place. And then they call out the government of India, saying that the attack was orchestrated by the Indian government. And now you have Bilawal Bhutto going about hollow threats to India of there will be war, of there will be bloodshed if the Indus Water Treaty is suspended by India. Now, how drastically, adversely harmful it is going to be for Pakistan and its economy to stand on its 2 feet once the water flow is cut off from India into Pakistan?
First of all, we must recognize that the very attack on the innocent pilgrims in Pahalgam, that was an act of war. And in fact, for the Pakistanis to now turn around and say that, you know, the shutting of the keeping in abeyance the Indus Water Treaty is an act of war. No, the first act of war was the attack on innocent pilgrims. And I must say that it seems now from the information that's coming on more and more that it was a very well planned attack. It was intended to have very serious and major consequences. They were, their planning was that Hindus in the hundreds would be killed. But then, this is how the planning went, and it ultimately fell back to what is now called Plan B. Now, also, I think we must see that the news coming out of Pakistan, first of all, there was no expectation at all that India would put the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance. This suggestion has been discussed for the last 15 years in India. It came out about 15 years ago and at many times discussed and dropped, even recently after Uri and Pulwama. But that time in Uri, our Prime Minister had said that blood and water cannot flow together. Well, this time, Prime Minister Modi has taken the very, very correct and strong decision to put in abeyance the Indus Water Treaty. And this has really sent the most unexpected news to Pakistan. It has really put them in the doldrums. Their own newspapers, the Dawn, are assessing that even a 5% or 10% reduction in the water supply, which is very doable, as was discussed in the meeting chaired by Home Minister Amit Shah yesterday, that even that 5 or 10% reduction would put a real threat to much of Pakistan's agriculture and farm activity. So you've seen this very strong reaction coming out of it. They thought, and this is the one of the things coming out of Pakistan, that this plan, engineered by, of course, the army chief Asim Munir, and he's spoken about it, virtually given threat some time back. His plan was that he would do this terrible thing, and then there would be a kinetic response from the Indian side, and then in response to the kinetic response, the Pakistan army would step in, and they would regain their glory with the Pakistan people. The Pakistan people today are very dissatisfied, disenchanted with the Pakistan army. They think they're absolutely doing nothing to help the people of Pakistan, and the Pakistan army under Asim Munir is desperate to recover the lost glory of the Pakistan army as far as the people of Pakistan are concerned. And he thought that a kinetic response would then give him this chance. But now the response has come on the putting in abeyance of the Indus Water Treaty. And this has really put them on the back foot. And now they are coming out and saying, the defense minister and now Bilawal Bhutto, oh, this is an act of war and we're going to do. We know that there's no such response possible from their side, because the impact of the keeping in abeyance of the treaty is going to be felt very soon, even as soon as this summer, because we know that in many of the projects already there, whether it is the Kishan Ganga, the Ratai and others, Tulbul navigation, all these are ready to go. I mean, they're all ready to go. And if they're all put into implementation, the Shakarkandi barrage in Pathankot in Punjab, which is going to irrigate more than 30,000 acres in Punjab, in JNK, and 5,000 acres in Punjab. This alone is going to stop every drop of the Rabi River from going into Pakistan. So, this one project alone that came on stream last year in 2024, you can see the impact of all this, plus all the other projects that are being discussed. Okay. I think this has really put them into a position of shock and trauma. They're finding it difficult to recover, but they're doing a lot of grandstanding, a lot of bluff mastery, trying to sound very aggressive, but it's not going to help them. And I think they're going to feel the impact very soon and find the result of doing any such terrorist act against India is going to be very expensive for them.
Okay, Professor Madhav Nalaput, I want to discuss another